Chapter 7, Blackout. Summer 1977, on July 18th, New York City underwent an electrical outage which affected most of my neighborhood. It was as though lightning struck over Harlem and the whole city went black. It was still early in the evening, and our block was filled with our families hanging out on the stoops listening to their boom boxes. Some of the kids ran up and down the streets playing stickball, sewer-to-sewer football, and skellies. Others played with the fire hydrants with plastic buckets and tin cans that cut out and made homemade cannons. It was about 90 degrees that day with no breeze, and the sidewalks were scorching hot. You could see fans from the windows nearby spinning slowly, yet there was no relief from the heat and engulfed the city. During the summers, we would open the fire hydrants with a big wrench to create our very own water park. It was already getting late, and the sun had gone down. All of the street lights were coming to life. The water from the hydrant streamed down the side of the curve onto the avenue, where everybody who passed by took comfort as the cool water touched their feet, including mine. I was having a good day hanging with our friends, but a part of me wanted to get away. That particular summer, I didn't go down south. I had to stay in Harlem because Aunt Mary called herself punishing me for my little breaking and entering episode. Since my breakout from Spofford, Mary realized she was losing control over me. There really wasn't anything to control, though. I just did what I had to do to get what I needed. She wasn't in position to get me the basic needs, so I had to do whatever I had to do to make it feel normal. I don't quite remember what I was doing at the moment when the lights went out, but I remember 111th Street went into complete darkness. I heard people screaming on the streets, down the block, and out their windows. People were coming out of their apartments, spilling into the streets, drenched with sweat, yelling that the electricity had gone out. No one knew all the facts. All we knew was that there was a blackout. According to the data provided by Con Ed, the power outage was caused by the stress of the system due to a series of lightning storms in Westchester County. It was a dark day in more ways than one. Stress to the system, okay, but what about the stress to the people of Harlem? People started running into my block screaming and saying everyone was going crazy, and they were breaking into local businesses to steal. I saw people running past me with TVs, furniture, clothes, and shopping carts full of food. I had never experienced anything so crazy in my life. Harlem was in an uproar, and the crazy thing is that I wanted to get in on the action. Helping Aunt Mary was the first thing I thought of as I started running toward 116th. But by the time I got there, all the windows of the storefronts were shattered, and people were already inside grabbing merchandise. It was crazy, and to make matters worse, the thieves were robbing thieves. As the old saying goes, there is no honor amongst thieves. Even hustlers got in on it by sticking up dope fiends who came to them in hopes of selling their stolen goods. No one was safe. It was an every man for themselves situation. I was following the crowd, walking back to 111th Street trying to get my hands on something to bring back home like everybody else, when I noticed that Mike's grocery store's doors was wide open. I immediately ran in the store, grabbed some garbage bags, and got to work. I went straight to the meat department where there were so many people grabbing packs of meat, they were shoving people out the way. There were some people helping each other out like, yo, let's get all this shit and split it up later. I didn't pay them no mind. I remained focused, taking whatever I could get my hands on. I was able to get a bag full of meat, then I ran up the aisle and threw some canned goods in the bag as well. I struggled out the store. I can still see myself now as I think about trying to get down the block, dragging garbage bags behind me. I was a skinny kid and those bags was heavy. By the time I got to the front of my building, I only had one of the bags. The other bag ripped, causing all the food to spill on the sidewalk, so I had to leave it behind. It took everything I had to carry that one bag up the stairs and into Aunt Mary's house, only to end up being cursed out and told she didn't want that shit in her house. I tell you, Aunt Mary was something else. After all I went through to get her those items, only to have her refuse them. Upset about it, I dragged the bag out into the hallway and knocked on our neighbor's door, Miss Shirley, Preston's mother, and I gave it all to her. At least she was appreciative of the small gesture. To this day, I still don't know why Aunt Mary didn't want the food. In my eyes, I thought I was doing something good for the family. In her eyes, it was only a matter of time before I would get myself caught up in a situation I wouldn't be able to get myself out of, or it could have been Homer who was all in her ear about me. Homer was a law-abiding citizen for real. There was no cutting corners with him at all. Although he stayed behind the scenes, he made it a point to express his dislike of my behavior to my aunt. I went back down the stairs, walked around the corner in front of Building 200, and witnessed my first homicide. Two guys were arguing about a stolen TV. One of them wanted to sell it, and the other refused. I could hear them going back and forth with each other, and out of nowhere, I heard a gunshot. When I looked in that direction, all I saw was one of them dropping to the ground. Blood poured out of him so fast, he died right there on the street. The city was in turmoil. There was never a dull moment in Harlem.